over there, he don't have to, it's gonna have to be adjusted, it's too loud. You can get it, but it's too loud. November the 17th, 2024, lesson 7. Gratitude, attitude. Our background passage is Psalms 100, and our printed passage is Psalms 100. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. Psalm 100, verse 4 is our key verse this morning. And today our lesson, we're going to be talking about gratitude. You know, sometimes every day of life that we get up to go through things, we take things for granted. Little things this morning, like just coming out the house, being able to get to the car to get here. You know, that's a blessing. And some things that we don't sit there and thank God for. Only when we get in trouble or get sick and get well or healed or something like that, then we can come to church and want to shout and praise God and say thank you. But it's the little things that we most of the time overlook. And see, even with the little children, train them from the get-go. You know, 1, 2, 6 months old, what if they're walking and talking? Every time you do something, now what you say? Thank you. That's what we teach them, but we don't do it ourselves. Just that simple word, thank you. It could be not only to God, but just a person. If somebody does something for you, you should say thank you, because they didn't have to do it. You know, this is a lot of things that the families place on emphasis on is manners. And forgotten keys of favor, it says yes ma'am, no sir, please and thank you. By practicing manners is not dead. Our young father started a stance. They're teaching his children about the social graces. Social graces is just the manner of how you treat people, what you say, how you say it. You know, you can do something for some people, and they can turn around and say, thank you. You can tell when they really mean it or they're just being spiteful. Whatever we say is all in how you say it. We started this lesson today. It's a short lesson, but like Deacon said, sometimes it takes the longest. So we're going to start off with the first verse. Our first outline, the need for involvement. Psalms 100, verses 1 and 2. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness, and come before his presence with singing. Now from the start with, it's telling us that we should make a joyful noise. And whatever you do, what joyful noise did you make? It don't have to be a loud noise. It could be a tear of joy, just raising your hand, or showing somebody else that you're thankful, not just sitting there bottling it up. Because a lot of times we just go around and you feel certain things, and people be not wanting to let it out, afraid of what the neighbor or somebody gonna say, how they're gonna react. But still, you got to have a gratitude, just a thankful attitude. You know, it's just simple things. Last Sunday was Veterans Day. All y'all that went to war and stuff, a whole lot of them didn't come back. We had Purple Hearts right here in this church. That's a whole lot to be thankful for. Not just for the ones that got the Purple Hearts, but for the ones that stayed here and they went out there and risked their lives for us. There's a whole lot of different things to be thankful for. You know, when we were growing up, going to school, sometimes like Jimmy said with him and his brothers, when mama would leave, she'd tell them what they had to be done by the time she get back. It might took about 30 minutes before she got back, but it got done. And even, he was on one end of our neighborhood, I was on the other end. If I would leave home before I could get to his house, somebody in the neighborhood done told where I was. And mama or somebody would come to get me, where you trying to go? And back then, like the Poacher Jubilee, I went on the back road, I was going uptown. But I got caught before I can get out the Yallowcut neighborhood. Because somebody's watching. Like I said, it takes a whole neighborhood or a village to look out for each other. And sometimes when you're little, You might get mad with the people. Why they all in my business? But they're looking out for you because they're all, whether you were family or not, in a close group of people, you're family. If one gets sick, the other one's over there cooking something for them or doing something for them, or anybody needs to go somewhere, somebody's there to do it. But see, God has done all that from the beginning of time. You know, he brought the Israelites out, showed them the promised land, took them there. But before they went, he had told them what they needed to do. Some didn't do it, some did. But those who did it, and when they made it to the promised land, oh, they were having a hallelujah time then. But some still want to worship idol gods, statues, calves, gold. It's just like today. Some people think they got something. Everywhere you look now, you see Teslas. And you didn't never see no Teslas before. But everywhere you look, these electric cars everywhere, and they cost so much money, nobody had them. But you never heard Tesla commercials, anything about anybody saying how grateful they are for that car, or how God let them get that car. And that's some things that you need to change. We all need to change before the end of time. Because if you're not grateful here on earth, you're not grateful to God, how's he going to look to you when it comes time to judge you?
I said that come under obedience. God created man. He loved him so good that he was obedient to the man. So man have to give it back in order to do the same.
It's one thing, because the Bible tells us what we need to do. And he gives us free reign. He don't make us do anything. It's our choice. So if you don't get things right, if you don't go where you want to be, it ain't nobody fault but your own. But see, like you say, that Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. He gives it to us. Every day, he shows us something. If it's not right here in Rose Hill, it's something on the other side of the world. How things are happening, what people are doing. And they're getting away with a lot of stuff. At least we think they're getting away with it. But God knows everything. He's better than the computer. He don't have to type nothing, put nothing down on no flash drive or nothing. But he sees, he watches everything. And you better believe there are a lot of people that's walking around watching everything. But then they're going to put in a good word for you. They're going to go back and talk about you behind your back. And some will be right there next to you sitting in church that day. Oh, you're doing a good job at this. You're on the right track. You're doing what God wants you to do. But as soon as they get out in the street, that Negro ain't doing nothing right. We just want that big head one that publicity. Well, you know how he is. But that's what they do. And some of them got in there right in church. What you say, Ray? But you know, they even get in church. You can sit there sometimes, even if the preacher's preaching, and especially I'm on the choir or something. You can look out and see somebody's face. If something ain't doing right or said right, boy, they got a messed up, ugly face you ever seen in your life. Whether they're frowning or who knows what they're saying in their head. They could be sitting there cursing you out in church, but you don't know. But I guarantee you, before that day is out, somebody knows something. But by the time it get back to you, it's going to be a whole different story. It'll never be like the first thing they'll first see it. But those are things that we have to look out for and be on guard about. Any other comments? Questions?
Keep in mind that this is an attitude of gratitude. That's what it's all about. This one song. It's an attitude of gratitude. We have to be thankful, and I like your introductory remarks, and that's what we have to be. We cannot take anything for granted. You know, I told y'all about when Mama was in the hospital from time to time, and it seems like she spent so much time in the hospital, but she was always thankful. Just for a cup of water, a little juice, Mama said, "Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir," because she knew that they didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do it. Keep that in mind. So we need to make sure we say thank you and please. Those are things we take for granted. I think they have, some folks think they're old-fashioned, but they're not old-fashioned. They're still popular.
Yeah. I mean, just like you brought up about the people in the hospitals and nursing homes and stuff, they lay on their back, they're sick. Some of them are thankful from the heart, but some of them know if they go against them people, they're gonna be in trouble. Especially if you don't have a family member there 24 hours a day. Those people that do to those people whatever they want to do and get away with it. So,
and I recognize that, and I hope all of us do. You know, you cannot be with your loved ones 24/7. I've shared this before, and so that's the time. You know, I told you before. You know, Steve is at Caswell, and we're thankful. We're thankful because if we didn't have a facility like that, it would come out of our pockets. Yeah. It would, and so we don't take anything for granted. We go see him once a month, and we tell the staff member, thank you. They probably get tired of hearing it, but we keep right on saying it.
You know, some of them probably get tired of somebody coming there saying something all the time, but yet, those people appreciate it.
That's your gratitude to them. Attitude of gratitude.
And whether they're just sitting there to make $1 or whatever, if you tell them thank you for the job that they do, they appreciate it. And you come around and you look, some of them be doing a better job than what they were doing before.
That's right. That's right. It encourages them.
Yeah.
I like that. It certainly does. Yeah. It pushes them along the way. And they may not have planned to work quite as hard that particular day, but because you said thank you, they said, well, you know, I'm going to do a little extra here. That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Attitude of gratitude.
Because we don't know, like you said, we don't know what they're going through.
No.
So you have to take into consideration what you're going through.
Yeah.
And appreciate what you're going through by saying thank you.
Yeah, because even those people that have the job to take care of our loved ones, who knows what they got at home? They might have a relative or something that's worse off that they got to take care of at home. They can't afford to put them in a home somewhere or something like that. But, yeah, but some of them are just as mean as they can be. They don't care what you do, you know, because, like Jimmy said, his mama there, he got a brother there. We got one fired. Well, I've got one fired because they weren't doing the job what they're supposed to be doing with Daddy. And the reason I knew it, somebody else that worked in there knew us real good, and they didn't supposed to say nothing, but they put a bug in my ear. I didn't go out there raising sand. There was a place, an office, that would go and investigate these places, and they wouldn't let them know they were there. And they went, this woman would take the cordless phone, and she'd go sit in the bathroom instead of doing her job on the phone. And when they caught her, she was fired right there on the spot. Then some places, you catch some patients, they have to be turned and stuff. Just because of what's ailing them, they have bruises and stuff from other things. Bed sores, and where people are grabbing them, and they're just rough with them. You know, newborn baby, you change that baby pamper or something. You just as gentle playing with that baby, taking care of them. But some of these people are do the old folks just the opposite. They'll go there and abuse them. It's called elderly abuse. Yeah. Because even some of the babies, what they call it, shaken baby syndrome. And you know, a man the other week was in prison, accused of it. But the lawyers and everybody along with him, the child was not diagnosed properly. And they're trying to get that man out of prison saying he didn't do what they said he did. And I haven't seen it lately to see what happened or what they did to him. They asked him? Okay. So, you know, I can't say what the man did, what he didn't do. But when it comes down, if they kill him, you know, that's him. But then it's in God's hands. So God only knows this man telling the truth or not. And one the other week, they took off death row. were found not guilty. Somebody else, a policeman, somebody had framed them and shot them up. So no matter what you're doing, if you spend 20, 30 years on death row, and at the last minute, ain't nobody but God to sit there and give somebody some information, something that they can help you out. Because the devil sure ain't gonna do it. But it's always a reason to be grateful.
And Tyrone, it all come back to you. How you treated people.
Yeah.
If you treat people nice, God look out for you. I was telling somebody the other day, I went to 2 hospitals this year. Every hospital I went in, the people were extra nice. And that makes a difference. I think if you good to people, people be good, somebody, it'll come back to you. That's what I say.
Yeah. Everything that we do, what I said, it goes around. When it comes back, it's stirred up, shaking, and cup be running over when it comes back to you. And it don't have to be nothing, no great big deal. Just be a simple little thing. But nobody knows.
Just like Jimmy said, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all it takes sometimes.
Any other comments, questions?
Just like on 4th Sundays, you know, we have the youth empowerment. Well, the pastor assigned me to get the program for the 4th Sunday. So I have to approach these young folks, and every time, everyone would tell you, I would tell them, thank you, you did a good job. Even when Jaden and the others read the scriptures, usually I'm sitting right along, you know where I sit, and when they walk by, I try to fist bump or pat them on the side, because that goes a long way. Thank you, because they don't have to do it. And I know it's a learning experience, but they don't usually turn me down. And I'm grateful for that. And so I don't take it for granted. I tell them thank you over and over.
And see, you had the advantage over most of us. You had a stern mama and made sure you got it right. But then you've been teaching almost 40 years. So you know how to deal with youth and what will get them on the right path.
Yeah, but as Oogie said, if you treat people right, that's all you have to do. You still draw more flies with honey than you do vinegar any day. If you treat people right, that's all it takes. And you know, sometimes you have trouble trying to read a person. You know, person's demeanor, maybe his facial expression. You see, that person always has a grudge. May not be the case. We don't know their story. That's the way I look at it. Treat people right, and it comes back to you.
Yeah. Look, you said about the look on people's faces. Some people are just born with a face like that. They can smile 1 minute, next minute, when they ain't smiling, they like they got a frown on the face. You know, you can't tell. You be sort of hectic or afraid to approach that person because you never know what's going to come out. It may take years or sometime or somewhere, and you never see this person before, and all of a sudden they'll pop out the shell, and it's totally different. You know, when I was teaching the young boys class, we had one that would never say nothing. And when you used to come down, have the children get down here and explain the Sunday school lesson stuff. I had one, and Deacon asked me one day, how in the world you get him to talk? I said, just talk to him like I'm talking to anybody else. And then talking about our nephew Will. Will would never say nothing. But for some reason, Will started opening up. Now he's on the fire department and stuff. You never know what's in a person's heart and what's in their head. Anything else? Our second outline, the need for intentionality. Psalms 100, verses 3 and 5. Number 3, know ye the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. That was the Lord God, God that made us. You know, we didn't do nothing ourselves. What did we do today? It's not for us. Everything we got, God lent it to us. We came with nothing, we're going with nothing. but it's all what we do with it and with the people and the heart that God gives us while we're here. Just like the other Sunday we were talking about the sheep. We're God's sheep. He has to lead us. He's a shepherd. Little old sheep like us, we won't often get lost. And a lot of people do that every day. We might not get lost from here to the railroad track or somewhere like that, but in the way we're supposed to do things in life, we might get confused, we might get burdened down, might be death in the family or something. Something might change our attitude. And in that moment, we're lost. Until we go through that process and ask God for help. And when He helps us, we come through that better than before. But a lot of times we don't see that. We just think that we did something ourselves or somebody else did it for us. In the comments? Verse 4. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him and bless His name. All God wants is praise from us. When the praises go up, the blessings will come down.
And he wants it willingly and cheerfully. It's like when we come to the Sunday school, we're supposed to come in cheerfully. God knows our heart, and we're supposed to express that cheer and that joy when we go through the service. When I pray, I always say, we surrender to you in worship and praise. So you got to give God the praise all the time.
And that can be true, just like this morning. Yesterday, I don't know how many, a lot of people like college football. Your team might have lost yesterday. Basketball, your team might have lost last night. You come in this morning, you still upset about that. But hey, you didn't get out there and help them win. So why are you so upset? I mean, they did the best they could. All you did, sitting there for them, go that way, go that way. Hey, you're doing your part, but still, there's another game the next day, or the next week. We always got another chance. The ball players have another chance. God always gives us another chance. Not just a second chance, every chance. There's so many chances, you can't count them all. That's something. Count your blessings, see what God is doing. If you sit down and start counting your blessings, no one will be able to leave out this church, but we still be counting. And if you go back and think about it, it'll be things we never looked at before. 5, for the Lord is good, and His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endures to all generations. The Lord is good. I don't have a pop kids like the professor.
To all generations. Now let me tell you something. I adopted a girl when she was 12 years old. Her mama passed with breast cancer. Now, my only concern was sending her and my son both to college because they were the same age. My son got an $80,000 scholarship. I didn't have to pay nothing for his car. My grandbaby got $135,000 for a scholarship. We didn't have to pay nothing there. I'm telling you, it's reward. It'll come back to you.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is stay on track. It'll eventually come to you.
And see, he knows exactly what I'm talking about because he was a basketball coach. But then with kids, away from basketball, knowledge.
And they had a game in my honor about 3 weeks ago, and raised $5,000 for scholarships on one day.
That's all because of what you did while you was in the school system.
It'll come back to you if you treat people right.
So good seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know what you mean, don't you? Treat me right. Talk about my dad and sister child.
Well, we're in the bloodline somewhere down there, so I don't know how some of them is, but yeah, it's all depends on how you treat people. You know, you don't have to get in somebody's face and smile and say, I love you, each and every day. It ain't about that. But once you're near that person, or see they need something, you offer. Or you ask, what can you do? It might be sometimes, you know, you ask somebody, what do you do for them? And they tell you. Well, when they tell you, you might can't do it. But yet you might know somebody else who can. Might be able to lead that person to the right direction. It ain't always on what we do, but it's the whole process.
People look at
Yeah.
It'll come back to you, Tyrone.
True.
I want to comment on that generation to generation. I recall as a little boy, my grandmother used to take me to church, and I just thought she was taking me to play, you know. But you know, yeah, and so now sitting here, you know, 2024, I appreciate her doing that because it says generation to generation. She set the example for me. You know, I saw that, and now I see it. You know, so God's word, you know, is God's word.
Yeah, that's right, Jose. That generation, last part of verse 5. Yeah, I like what you said. Said I thought that just take me to play, because I remember my friend, the late Levi Williams, and Stanley and I would sit at the back of the church and play. And I think all three of us joined somewhere about the same time, may have been off by a year or so. But I remember Reverend Grimes' words, and I think all of you do too, if you went through the same process. But Reverend Grimes said, give me your hand, give God your heart. It didn't mean a thing to me then. I went right back there and kept right on playing. But I still remember those, give me your hand, give God your heart. What did it mean to me at 12 or 13 years old?
Not a thing.
Absolutely nothing.
Charles McCall told me when I came home from college and I was complaining about the food, he said, boy, go back to school and eat that food. I was complaining about how the food wasn't good. Don't worry about it. You just get back to school. Go back to school. And eat that food.
Yeah. No, because it's, I went back there when Jimmy and them back there playing. But,
Okay, you trying to get out of that now.
hey, I ain't that old.
But you played too.
But then I heard the stories, a little shop down the street. They send the children to Sunday school by themselves, and they have money for playing Sunday school in church. They start there and get candy and stuff before they get to Sunday school in church. And then plus on top of that, me and Belton and them, sitting in them, you sit back there too. And all us doing the church about the same time. And I remember the church used to be so full, Mr. Mike Henry was usher. If older people came in, we were made to get up. We had to go in the balcony. Daddy got me one day over here. Don't let me catch you in that balcony no more. But I was doing what the usher said do. But he said, I should have been down here somewhere to start with. So whatever you do or whoever do it to you, somebody's watching. And if they don't get you straight and put you on the right path, something's not right. Yeah.
I tell my daddy thanks right now. Teaching me how to work and get up in the morning. He used to make us, they caught that bus at Jacksonville bus at 6 o'clock. We had to be in the field working when he left. We could come out when we wanted to, but we had to make sure that work was done before he got home at 6 o'clock. So right now, I tell my daddy thanks for teaching me how to work.
Yes.
That's that generation to generation.
That's it.
Yeah. Look at OJ. He's working hard right now.
Right now.
And it's the same thing we have to do today. Brian, my grandkids, they got to be shown what to do. If not, ain't no telling where they'll be at, what they'll be doing. I said, looks tell everything.
You say from generation to generation, but that don't always work, because I'm using my own family, my two brothers. They know how they were raised in daddy's house. You know, daddy caught that bus every morning, and when Daddy went up, go to work, did have to tell you. He had a list what me and Ken and Tony should get done before he got home. And it better be done. But I look at my brother Cherry, and they were raised no way like we were raised. Yeah. What? To my 96-year-old mama. Did I tell you? No respect. So you say generation. It stops somewhere.
Well, there are always exceptions, Don. You know? There are always exceptions. That's exactly right. There are always exceptions. Yeah, always.
Yeah, because some got a little bit more force than what others did. So they had to do what was told to do.
I was telling somebody the other day, I was grown with children before I realized my mom wasn't gonna kill me. She said, I kill you, go to jail and pay for it. And I was grown with children. One day I woke up, my mama really wasn't gonna kill me.
Yeah. But see, your mama told that, but I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. And that was a big scene. But sometimes we used to run up and down the street after dark. When the street lights came on, you're supposed to be in the house. Now, a lot of people got beaten behind that. And you run till you're going to get away with it. Now, you go in the house, get in the house, everything cool. Ain't nobody hollering, ain't nobody saying nothing. But boy, you get naked and get in that bathtub. I bet you don't do it no more. Hey, about to sleep. Yeah.
If they ever said, I'm going to get
You got it.
to the bank and make a deposit.
Yep, you got it.
Wait till you get in the bed, already half naked, then pull the cover and try to beat you to death.
And what makes it so bad, they talk to you every lick. And once they start talking, the licks like to come more and more.
The children were. Oh, I've said that a long time ago, they were child abuse. My dad was in the grave, but you were something's man in the house.
Yeah.
And that Emily in her good health, she'll teach you a new dance.
That comes from generation to generation. A lot of things got condemned.
They couldn't forget it. And they passed it on to you. Like them whippings, they probably got them whippings too.
And they knew it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
So they were going to use it on their children.
That's right.
What is it? What's spirit of rod, spoil the child?
Yeah.
But, you know, back then, wasn't nobody going to no jail for no child abuse or nothing. But raise your hand at a child now. I'm going to call 911. Call 911. Because as soon as they show up, I'm going to give them a reason to call the other 911 on you. You know, you get them straight.
We didn't have no phone there, Tyrone. Y'all walk around with phone in y'all pocket. We didn't have no phone.
No, had the party line.
Yeah, we had the party line.
You know, I told you how stubborn my brother George was. I used to tell George, George, if you go ahead and cry, Mama won't beat you quite as long. He was just as stubborn as he bit. See, I was crying before she started hitting me. I tried to use psychology, but George is stubborn. He's stubborn. I said, you go ahead and cry now. She won't beat you quite as long.
And believe me, after a while, she figured you out too, because you tell the story. But you can look at George. George wasn't a person right now. You can look at him. If you don't know him, he's not smiling. You don't know how to take George. But if you know him, you sit there and see a smile on his face.
Yeah.
But George was a football player, lifted weights and stuff. You didn't mess with George. But that's why some people are now. You can't tell about the expression on their face. But somebody that smiles all the time, those you got to watch too. Because some people get mad when they get some people yeah. Get your cousin. But you know, some people would get mad and they would just smile. And one person I remember that would always do that, J.W. Maynard. Claim you couldn't have C. Make J.W. mad. After all you look, he just a grin. You better start running. If somebody looking at you grinning and crying, you better leave them alone and go. You think you hurt them, they're getting ready to hurt you. But it's all how you treat people. That's all it is. And like I said, you go to the schoolhouse in some places. You see more kids around there, knives and guns and stuff. Then you see people that on the street, or people got home protection for their houses. Yeah. But yet the parents let them do what they want to. Let them go where they want to. Let them say what they want to. But we didn't do that. You didn't say something right, you like got slapped in the mouth.
And I'm glad of it.
You know, it hurt right then, but hey, you look at things now when you get older. You know what to do, how to do, or you know what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go. But some are still hard-headed. But the last time, when it's said and done, when Jesus come back to judge, he's not going to spank you. He's not going to hit you. He's just going to take it, depart from me. Now, you just imagine, you grown living in your parents' house. You done cut up and acted up for the last 2 or 3 years. Your mama did tell you, you can't live by my rules, you got to go. And you think that's a hurt some feet when your parents tell you you got to go. But when God tell you you got to go, it's all over with. There's no other chance. Any other comments or questions?
They'll be jailed for child abuse.
Some probably will. Never know what God has in store. We can think, we can assume all the time. But the Bible tells us what we need to do and how we need to do it. Now you got to think, are we doing that? If you're not doing it, you better get straight. But I tell you what's going to happen to you. You never hear preachers preach too much, or too many people talk about Revelations. But just go back and read the book of Revelations and keep reading it and see what's going to happen. But then if you go back to the beginning, the Old Testament, New Testament too, those prophets already prophesied what's going to happen, what's coming. It might not be for 100 years, it might not be for 1,000 years, but sooner or later it's coming.
That is like the rich man. Let me go back and tell my brother. And what they say, your brother had the prophecy, and you know, like we have. They had the prophecy and they have the Bible. So he can't say what he gonna do. And he can't say what they gonna do. Because it's all come in a circle to God, right? Whether you're bad or good, it comes back to that circle.
Mm-hmm. You know, they always, in this here saying, some people get in an argument or a fight. Say if Ray and Brother William back there get to arguing about something, Ray said, I'm going to slap you upside your big head. Donnie said, no, I'm going to cut your throat. But look, you never tell a person what they will or will not do. Because you don't know. You don't know what you would do in a certain situation. But God said it's all right to get angry. But it's what you do after that is what counts.
I remember my mother sent me out to do something. I stormed out of the house. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. And no, she didn't punish me. She punished me with what she said. She said, son, don't never say what you ain't gonna do. Because what you say you ain't gonna do, you end up doing it.
My mama told me the same thing. I had a problem with a family member. She told me the same thing. And you can always look at some people. I never forget it. I had a good friend. And me, him, and my cousin were going to do something that afternoon. He didn't have no money because we was teenagers. And he went to get some money from his mama. She didn't have none. He cussed her up, down like a dog. And my cousin looked at him and told him, said, either you're going to have to kill somebody or somebody's going to kill you because of your mouth. That same evening, me and my wife going down Church Street, him and the whole gang I used to hang around with, all of them walking down the street. I was married then, 18 years old. Went home. About 2 or 3 o'clock that morning, my mom called me and told me he was dead. Somebody killed him. So you can say things to people. You don't really mean it, but you mean it. But you never know what's going to happen afterwards. Any other comments, questions? If not, I thank you for your attention. That's all.